the question has arisen again, who's the more talented fighter between Danny Jacobs and Canelo Alvarez, as Canelo heads into the September 16th mega boxing match versus Gennady Golovkin. And, you're going to have a mutual opponent after September 16th, and I guess we'll have to wait and see. And it's just water cooler and debate talk right now. But it's your boy CJ Goodfellow. We about to enter that boxing clinic talk, you dig? And let's get it going. Jermall Charlo, the super middleweight Charlo, who's about to fight Saturday. Fight week coming up, you dig? Actually, it's fight week because Sunday's a new week. But he says, basically, I'm paraphrasing here, that, people think that Canelo's going to go ahead and do what Danny Jacobs did and try to follow that blueprint. He says Canelo thinks he's going to be able to do what Danny Jacobs did, but to Golovkin, but he's not that talented. I think, Danny Jacobs is a more talented fighter than Canelo, and Canelo's going to have a world of problems with Gennady Golovkin. So basically, I paraphrase what Jermall Charlo pretty much said. He says basically that Canelo's not going to be able to follow the blueprint that Danny Jacobs did. He doesn't have the ability to do what Jacobs did, and he thinks Jacobs is a better talented fighter. Now, some people that believe that and some people that don't believe that, and we're going to see September 16th. But one thing I do know, before I think I talked on this subject briefly, but one thing I do know about Canelo, there's no run in Canelo. He can move some a little bit, but he can't do what Andre Rozier called defensive circles versus Danny Jacobs, like Danny did, and dance and move a little bit. He doesn't have that footwork that Danny has, and I agree with Charlo on that. But the one thing that I could say that can work in Canelo's favor is that Canelo is a go. He's a go fighter. He's a go getter. He's a pressure. He likes to work on the front foot. And Danny Jacobs had the option of working on the back foot, and at the end of the day, I believe I heard him in the Golovkin fight where he should have pressed more. And one thing that Kenny Porter parted out in his synopsis of the fight was, Kenny Porter, Sean's Porter, is that he said he was very upset, this a few months ago, around after the fight. He said he's pretty upset with Danny Jacobs because he was retaliating too much. He said he was seeming to be on the defense a lot. He said with Golovkin would hit him, and then Danny Jacobs would just retaliate, and Danny Jacobs never took the initiative, the lead in some of his attacks. All his attacks were basically in retaliation to Triple G offensive attacks. And once he said that, I said I definitely agree with that statement right there. And with Canelo, that's not going to be the case. Canelo's going to get off first. He's going to counter punch. He's going to, if he's able to, survive that long, he's going to show different facets that Jacobs couldn't. And the stuff that Jacobs couldn't do, Canelo's going to have to find other things that work for him. That's what Jacobs do. Canelo's going to have to find stuff that works for him as well. As far as, not being able to be first, like I said, being able to counter punch more. I felt like Danny Jacobs was a little bit gun shy when it came to punching with Triple G, and so was Triple G. Triple G really wasn't trying to punch with Jacobs early on until he probably felt some of the steam come out of those punches. And I think Canelo is going to be able to punch with Triple G. I think he's going to be able to do better body work than Danny Jacobs did. I think he's going to be able to counter Triple G. I think he's going to be able to be first. I think he's going to be able to put Triple G on the back foot more while being first than what Danny Jacobs did. Will Canelo be able to move around the ring a lot? I don't think so. He's working on footwork and agility drills. He can do some of that stuff. I think he can move well enough. But if it comes down to the point where, Triple G is on the front foot and pressuring Canelo the whole fight, and Canelo's trying to dance and move like Danny Jacobs, I think that's a failure. I think at that point, you could say Canelo's in a lot of trouble. But as far as the more talented fighter at the latter end of this video, I really don't know. Canelo has fought the better opponents, but they was in two different weight classes. We have yet to see Canelo at 160 pounds. We've seen him around 164, 155, everywhere but 160. So we got to wait and see. As far as, do I think his chin is better than Jacobs? Yeah, I think so off experience, but this is a different weight class. I think Jacobs has the better feet. Jacobs probably punches harder. But the one thing that's the difference is I think Canelo is a better defensive fighter. I think Canelo is a better aggressive fighter. I think Canelo's a better body puncher. I think Canelo better counter puncher. I think he got better defensive upper body movement than Jacobs, but Jacobs does things as well. It's just going to be a style mesh. It's going to be, Ken Canelo style, mesh with with Triple G's better than Jacobs. That's what it's basically gonna come down to, and we'll know after the fight, you know, where they both stand. And I'm not comparing, saying one is better than the other, because styles make fights. Obviously, you know, one day they may hop in the ring and, you know, Canelo might beat Triple G, and then Danny Jacobs might beat Canelo. We've seen it happen in boxing all the time. But I think different things is gonna work for different guys. And for Canelo, we'll see. We'll see. We think he's definitely a talented fighter. But I think his body of work, overall work, is better than Jacobs. But this is a new weight class, and we gotta wait and see till he fight at 160. But we gon'